Why Dubai's man-made islands are still empty. Dubai is a city that's synonymous with luxury and lavishness. With everything shimmering and new, it feels like an oasis of abundance amid the constantly shifting sands of the desert. However, in the past, the city took extravagance to new heights. This massive artificial archipelago, known as the world, took the shape of the Earth's countries and was so large that it could be seen from space. However, despite a decade since its completion, the island remains deserted, with minimal development. But why is this so? What happened to Dubai's most ambitious project? Let's find out. The world's creators had lofty goals. When they were initially built, they were supposed to be full of hotels and luxury mansions for the super rich. The islands of the world, which could only be reached by boat, were auctioned off to the highest bidder. Owners may then claim ownership of Ireland, Britain, or whatever portion of the world they acquired. The real estate bubble in the Emirates was at its zenith in early 2000, and it was predicted to create fantastic possibilities in developing an artificial coastline area in Dubai. At the time, much of Dubai's coastline lands had already been developed. In barely 2 decades, Nakheel Properties, a government-owned real estate company, changed the shoreline of Dubai dramatically. First, the business proposed constructing 3 palm tree-shaped man-made islands: Palm Jumeirah, Palm Deira, and Palm Jebel Ali. By far the largest is Palm Deira. The Palm Jumeirah project has the potential to increase Dubai's coastline. The most recent, The World, was released in 2003. The islands will include low-density dwellings, high-density complexes, and commercial uses for some components. This island was subsequently scheduled to be augmented with a much more extensive project, the universe. When viewed from space, it mimics the shape of the sun, moon, a distant galaxy, and the Milky Way. This project embodies the aspirations of a global metropolis like Dubai and its great inhabitants. So what became of it? The amount of assurance underpinning these initiatives is astounding. It has the potential to become a tourism attraction, which would undoubtedly generate fresh revenue for a city like Dubai, where most of its riches are derived from oil production. Now take a look at what finally happened to these ambitious plans. The 2008 financial and real estate crisis, as well as the 2014 reduction in oil prices, which powered the Emirates' economy, were the first developments to have detrimental influence on the viability of this macro project. The timeline of events is lengthy and convoluted. However, it may be described as private investors withdrawing, million-dollar debts accrued by the developer, litigation, and stalled works with no resumption date. The issue persists to this day. During the first quarter of 2018, sales of new real estate development fell by 46%. House prices have fallen by 15% since the end of 2014. Several real estate ventures have suggested relaunching the World project, including the Philippine firm Revolution Pre-Crafted, which would invest $3.2 billion in developing luxury residences and a hotel. According to The World, the maritime business Penguin Marine warned in 2010 that these archipelagos were falling back into the sea. The corporation supplying supplies and transportation to the island regularly took measurements for safety reasons. The fundamental reason is that the sand removed from the seabed to form the 300 archipelagos gradually returned to its original location. In February 2010, an image obtained by the International Space Station revealed that the waters of the Persian Gulf were rising, and the islands were disappearing. As a result, the canals connecting the island were clogged. The project developer, Nakheel, disputed all of these charges and went on to win the trial against Penguin Marine, which sought to cancel its contract. According to NASA data, Palm Jumeirah was likewise sinking at a pace of 5 millimeters every year. The man-made islands are mostly built on sand and rock substrate. Although Dubai is bordered by desert, sea sand was utilized to construct the artificial islands, which is ideal for this building due to its compactness. Dubai's beaches lose between 10,000 and 15,000 cubic meters of sand annually, according to the findings of environmental studies given by researcher Bayina Salahuddin. The development of Palm Jumeirah, which has disrupted the normal flow of the wind, has led the tides to accelerate the erosion rate. As a result, over 5 years, Marine sediment deposits shifted 40 kilometers. The building movement has impacted marine biodiversity, burying oyster beds and inflicting irreversible harm to the coral on the seafloor. The land reclamation and building of the first apartments on Palm Jumeirah were finished and handed over at the end of 2006. The palm strings mainly house private areas. The luxury hotels are planned in the ring around the palm. Nakheel Properties took the risk of starting other projects while the Palm Jumeirah was still under development. Dubai's real estate business boomed in the 21st century, and the majestic Burj Khalifa, the world's biggest structure, was completed. However, all of this cannot survive the international financial crisis affecting Dubai, particularly the real estate business. All mega projects have been forced to halt. Projects relating to the artificial island were on the verge of collapsing. During this period, the majority of building sites are quickly shut down. The following demand for the project caused the price of the plots to plummet precipitously. The development of Palm Jebel Ali has come to a halt. When the business Nakheel Properties announced the returns to its investors, the empty sandbanks stretching over 7 kilometers were utterly ignored. Dubai's land reclamation plan has progressed to the point that the outline of some of the islands can be seen on a satellite picture. In most situations, land reclamation has begun, although it still needs to be finished. In 2013, Nakheel Properties attempted to rescue the Palm Deira project by rebranding it. The project was cut back, land reclamation was halted, and it is now known as Deira Island. The concept was shortened to 2 high-rise buildings with a large commercial strip. The world is finally here. The majority of the land reclamation has already been completed, and much of it was already sold before the financial crisis rocked Dubai's real estate business. However, because most of the investors are currently experiencing difficulties, the project as a whole was stalled. Despite the fact that Dubai has recovered from the original danger of a financial crisis and investment has come to many new projects, the World project has not benefited much from this, as most investors are unsure about the earnings from this project. The ambitious project is no longer appropriate for the current 10 years after its announcement. There are several worries about the situation, ranging from environmental problems to the island's long-term viability. It was reported that smaller canals were discovered between the islands that had begun to sand up. The rising sea levels are another source of concern for this endeavor. Aside from that, residents of Palm Jumeirah have consistently complained about the water quality. The backwater is required to protect the palm from erosion and to impede natural tide movements. However, this raises further environmental problems since the salt water within the palm grows stagnant due to building. Thousands of tons of sand on the seabed undermine the coastal soil, perhaps leading to erosion of the natural shoreline. All of these negative environmental consequences make it hard to promote the idea. Furthermore, the media is paying attention to the plight of migrant workers. This also contributes to the overall harmful effect. Nonetheless, a few initiatives are taking shape on these islands. In 2014, an Austrian real estate business revealed plans to build numerous projects on European islands. The project is called the Heart of Europe, since the goal is to create a miniature replica of Europe, complete with opulent hotels inspired by Venice or Monaco. Aside from these hotels, they intend to construct a series of European food courts and plazas. The project is presently under development, and only time will tell if it will restore the glory of economic prosperity. The abandoned islands of the world serve as a reminder that even the most audacious dreams can encounter unforeseen challenges. Is it a cautionary tale about the limits of human ambition? Are there limitations to the human desire for excess? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below.